Alrighty then. I thought today I might do something a little bit different. I've got a couple of requests from people to do sort of more of an overview of competitive Team Fortress 2 and I suppose review one of my games. I'm not the best player in the world, I'll open up with that. I'm an intermediate Demoman in Australia with quite a significant history in the game, I suppose, but I'm far from perfect and have some wacky ideas, but I thought it might be interesting nonetheless, and a couple of people have asked for it, so I'm going to keep it pretty basic, especially with the matchmaking update just coming out. I'm assuming there might be a bit of an influx of new players that are interested in, I suppose, the competitive meta and what's kind of accepted and normal. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So this is a game on process. I'm playing demo with my team, Swap for Gaming. And we do have, I suppose, quite a convincing victory here, but the only reason I've chosen that is because I didn't want it to be completely boring because I'm dead the whole time. So yeah, let's start. So first things first, classes for competitive. You usually have one demo man, one medic, 2 soldiers, 2 scouts. The demo man and the soldiers on process can get to mid very quickly, which gives you a significant advantage. Here I'm basically trying to get early damage without wasting too much ammo, which I'm not particularly good at. And then we're walking forward across the point. Now, it's incredibly important in competitive to work as a team and communicate. And basically, you know, talk to each other. Like, for example, there, we just lost our medic, and that's because we got a bit over-aggressive. And that's going to cost us in this instance, because the medic is fundamental to your team's success. 8 seconds of invulnerability when an uber charge is made is pretty game changing. So here I'm basically going for the medic, and I miss pretty much everything, which is pretty garbage, and their demo has better DM than me. So now basically we're at Disad. So our pocket there actually has gone in. He runs gunboats a lot these days and hit some really nice rockets on the med to take them down, which somehow means that we managed to salvage the mid fight. In reality, we probably should have lost that. We didn't really deserve that when we lost our medic as early as we did, when they still had quite a few good players up. Nonetheless, we're now holding mid with a slight uber advantage because our medic's been alive a little bit longer, which is basically the way competitive Team Fortress 2 works is the game revolves heavily around your medic's uber versus their medic's uber. So we know that their medic died after ours, which means that we have a slight advantage in the percentage. And we want to try and use this if we can, but here we might not have that opportunity because they've got us pretty well locked out of this choke. Now we're ubered through. My sticky got moved there, which is a shame, but I'm trying to get aggressive to lock out some of their players, which I do well, and with that early aggression we get a couple of picks. Which basically means now, even though they have the uber advantage, because I don't think their medic went down there, we'll be playing with a significant player advantage going into last, which is how we've gone in and captain and taken out that round. Yeah, so then we're back at the rollout. In spawn, you want to get nice overheals and then get going as fast as you can to mid. I have far from perfect rollouts. I can do the Cadus rollout a little bit, which is much faster than this one that I've just done, but my percentage of hitting it is unfortunately not as high as it should be. Now, I've caught that damage straight away, and our scouts have acted upon that, allowing us to get that early pick, and then we've had a trade as well. So basically here I'm trying to find space to work with, because I don't want to get too close to them as demo. I'm a big damage doer, but not necessarily aiming to get kills. I'm aiming to damage our opponents and let our scouts and soldiers follow up, which is just the nature of playing with stickies and pipes, because they usually hit about 100 if you get a really nice shot off, which isn't quite enough to kill anyone. Now here again, we're moving forward because we did win that mid, but that's the exact same thing that happened last mid, which is a really, really big issue in our team, is that player getting through because we get a little bit too aggressive. And here basically I don't think he kills me. No, he doesn't, which is good. But he killed the medic, so he did a tremendously good thing for his team. because now we're going to be at a disadvantage again. So we have to play really safe here because we know that their medic can come in and basically kill us all because they have invulnerability. But if we don't make their medic Uber, then we play at an even bigger disadvantage. So basically what we're trying to do now is force their medic to Uber, and then we're going to try and leave. As a general rule of thumb, people say that in a 6v6 game, an Uber is sort of worth one player, and if you start losing more than one player to force that Uber, then it's a waste, because they'll just have the advantage anyway on the next fight. So here is Demoman basically trying to put up traps to lock them out. As you can see, they can shoot them off, and they've Ubered through, which means it's time for us to panic and evacuate. Again, I'm trying to trap my exit so that I have a safe way out, because the Demoman's such an important damage doer and holder that if I were to die in this situation, it would be very bad for our team. Now we've made the decision to try and refight here. And I've called that I've done quite a bit of damage to the medic in pocket. And then again, I know that I'm important, so I'm backing up and making sure that no players leak behind either, because in this situation, it would be very bad if they got behind. However, we know at this stage that no one's behind us, so we can fight that point and capture. I'm just trying to hide at this stage. I'm using the Pain Train, which is quite popular on Demoman as a melee weapon, which gives you 2 times cap speed, but also means you take more damage from scouts. So it's one of those trade-offs. I personally think, in theory, the number of shots it takes to kill you is identical, even if the damage done in those shots is the same. And I play as a bit of a hyper-aggressive Demoman at times, which means I like to, try and back cap, so get behind people, which isn't really the Demoman's job, but I come from a scout history, so that's something that I do, which isn't probably the best idea as demo. As I say, I'm far from perfect. I'm a very casual player, but I think this is currently my 7th or 8th season of competitive Team Fortress 2 in Australia. So I do know a little bit, but again, I'm not a invite player or premier, as we call it in Australia. The highest I've played at is only Div 2 on Demoman. Again, now we're basically just holding, because they have 3 points and we have 2, which means that it's their push is the terminology used. So basically, if we were to push and lose, we'd lose the game. So we let them push and basically try and then push back if we have a good fight. Otherwise, we're just trying to hold ground and make this last. Basically, we're trying to force an error, in essence, at this stage. And playing defensively means that it's harder for you to make an error. Again, I'm just trying to look out their players. We know that their roamer is probably going to make a move on our medic. In a standstill like this, the standard play would be for their roamer to jump our medic and force our medic, and then they all run away and we can't do anything, and then when their roamer respawns, they fight into us with an Uber while we don't have an Uber. So as you can see here, that soldier's come in, he's done a nice jump. This is actually quite a nice pipe here. I didn't realise I hit it at the time because I was freaking out about this scout, telling everyone to get the Tits McGee over to me and help. But that scout shouldn't have been allowed to do that, but that roamer, I suppose, got in quite deep, quite early, which meant that we were sort of panicking a little bit and fell into a very, very common trap of basically aiming for the roamer coming in and ignoring everyone else coming in. So the roamer basically baits us to force that error, which is his job, I suppose. Here I'm trying to get to mid nice and quick to help. We're not in a particularly good position to fight, so we leave. And there's also a scout behind us, but Davey cleans that up. He's a very, very good roamer, Davey. He's one of these guys that doesn't have a huge amount of communication during the game. He sort of just calls what he needs to, which is what we need, because our team's notorious for having the most cluttered comms in the world. But no, anyway, so at the moment we're trying to walk forward aggressively. We have really good position. We've got scouts up top. Their medic just can't get out of that, neither can that soldier, because we just had the height. and the spam advantage, I suppose. Holding any high ground, particularly on a mid fight in Team Fortress 2, is just so pivotal to how well things go. There I miss quite a few pipes. I should have been using stickies. And here we're forced, so that scout did a good job. And I did a bad job, but I saw the sniper in the forward spawn, which means that sniper's not going to be able to get away with trying to get a pick on our medic. And we'll have to back spawn. But here again, now basically they're trying to back cap us, but we know that we can cap much faster, because basically the closer to the last point you get, the faster the points cap in Team Fortress 2. So we know that basically as long as we have more people on our point than he has on his, or even the same, we'll always get that cap. Which basically means that now he has to either try and kill our medic, or get back to his team, or his obsolete. So we don't really need to worry about him too much. Again now though, we're just building Uber, and this time it's our turn to push basically. So what we've done is we've come up with the sniper, although we get this kill here anyway, which is the trade, so we're kind of at an even standstill again. But we have Razor, who's quite a good sniper actually. In our latest match he did a huge amount of work for us, and he's quite passive, which is really what you want. You don't want people getting cocky and trying to go for the hero shots. If you're trying to win the game, you want to really protect your sniper, keep him overhealed, and just work slowly. You don't want to let him get impatient and start taking shots that are useless. Well, from positions that are dangerous, I suppose, more so. And here their snipers kind of picked a couple of us off, so we're just waiting for our players to get back, and then we'll try and position Razor in a place where we can protect him, while also giving him access, ideally to the medic. The demo would also be a huge pick, but in reality we're basically trying to just pick any one of them and get an advantage. Again, we've traded, which is the stagnant nature of Team Fortress 2, I suppose, or at least the choky nature. Where right now we're kind of still at that standstill, and here that scout baited me really, really well. I shouldn't have let him get away with it. It was a pretty standard thing. He saw me coming, made it look like he was leaving, so I came around the corner and then could easily just absolutely destroy me. So that's good for him. But I think that was one of my first deaths, which is nice. I had quite a low death rate this game, which is what you want as Demoman. As roamer, you expect to die more than kill things, because you're an aggressive soldier. Sorry, if you don't know what a roamer is, it's basically the soldier that you have that wants to go and kill the medic, or try to kill the medic, or just be a distraction, or just make space. Any kills you get are a bonus, but Davey is quite good at just knowing what's an important maneuver for him. Like just there, for example, he Ubered their medic, which means that we now have 100% Uber advantage, and we can refight into them in a moment, which we are now, and really try and put the pressure back on them because they don't have the advantage. Now here, I'm pretty sure we lose this fight quite terribly. I tried to sticky the point so that we could cap it safely, but in hindsight I should have been probably focusing the demo or the heavy that did a lot of damage to me. And our team, and that also would have slowed down their ability to repush, because now they're taking second, and we're forced to hold mid. But we get the forward spawn, which is gives us a good holding position to potentially contest second again. Now here again, I know they have the Uber advantage, so we need to keep our medic alive. So I'm just trying to spam the choke points that I know that they're going to most probably come through. They might come through IT or sewer, which is the left and right hand side as well. But usually if you have an Uber advantage, I don't like pushing through IT, simply because if the demo has it trapped, you have to pop. Whereas if you do what they're doing right now, their medic's in a long way and still hasn't been forced, which gives them a significant advantage in the fight, because it makes that Uber more effective. Now, here we actually are deciding to refight this. We've kept our medic alive, we've got good position, and we've had an all-round good fight. Now this medic was really keen to treat me mean, but eventually we kill them, and I don't know, it's a bit more advanced, but you can actually sort of toy with medics a little bit, or even choose not to kill the medic, because that means that medic won't be healing. So if you can guarantee that a medic that's alive won't heal for longer than if a medic was dead, it's actually an advantage to leave a medic alive, because they're not going to be able to do damage to you, theoretically. I mean, there are a few medics out there that do a lot of work, but their primary job is healing and Ubering. So if you leave a medic alive for 14 seconds without healing someone, you've actually done more damage to their team than what you would do if they died. Obviously, spawn times change. Sometimes you get up to close to 20 seconds, and down to in Koth maps 4 seconds, I think, is the fastest. But I suppose that's getting a bit complex. Here again, we're on the mid. I'm trying to do early damage, trying to keep this scout away from me as much as possible. I don't have particularly good aim. Now, we've killed their medic, so they're really, really thirsty for our medic now, which is why they keep on throwing at our players, and it's also why we're bunching up around our medic. Not close enough that we're going to get splash damaged all at once, but close enough that basically, ideally, we'll take the damage for Mink, our medic, and keep her alive at all costs, because her Uber is much more important than all of our lives in most situations. Now here, because we killed the medic and kept our medic alive, we have a significant advantage, so we want to go and get as aggressive as possible into them. And their sniper actually killed our medic with a very nice shot there, which I completely missed just then. But long story short, basically he completely negated all of our good work up until this point. We still get to hold the point, and Davies again doing some nice work in there. He killed the medic, DM, and now has done a lot more work. So we're going to try and fight. Our communication here was quite poor, because I thought we still had players in, and we didn't, which basically means that I'm not Termo or Banny. I can't do amazing work. And for some reason I've gone to the menu. I have no idea what just happened. That's okay. But in doing so, I suppose we brought everything back to an even state, even though David did a lot of work to give us an advantage. And now we're sort of just sitting again, considering how can we get an advantage, which is basically what Team Fortress 2 comes down to. Is it's a game of numbers, in many ways more than anything, with the two most important being players, the number of players alive, and the Uber percentage that you have versus their Uber percentage. So obviously a 6v5 fight is good if you're on the 6 and they're on the 5, because that means that you have one extra player doing damage. And a Uber advantage is good because it effectively means you have a player that can't die, or multiple players if you share that Uber, but that makes the Uber last less. It means that it depletes faster, basically. So here they've come out, and I do something dumb, which I should have never even considered, and tried to get behind them to cap the last point. But as demo, that isn't your job. I should have jumped the exact opposite way and left. Drat here gets piped very nicely by their demo, but slows them down a little bit, and gives us time now to hopefully get back in position to fight again. Now, how that demo didn't die, I have no idea, but basically Jen and I have to leave. My priority here is to try and protect Jen, which I didn't do. Sorry, Mink, our medic, Jen. Same person. We don't have two medics. That's not allowed in competitive leagues. Here though, I'm trying to watch my trap that I put on that rock, just in case the medic walks across, and basically leave simultaneously is the plan. Here I'm just trying to spam, because I can see that they have a minimum of 3 players on the point, and I know that my rollers there will fall just the other side onto the point. But now again, we've got this really strong position, walking forward. We got the advantage, and I get very lucky here when I don't die. And that's thanks to our scouts being really switched on to who's doing damage and who they need to target. Now though, we still have the advantage because they're at player disad, so we're basically going to try and move in. I'm trying to lock this medic out so that the medic cannot heal the players and split them, which means then we have the healing advantage on our players, and also the player advantage pushing this last. So again, now we've killed quite a few of their players, and I'm electing to go in. I'm trapping up the left-hand door, which is the door that people normally come out, and then I'm trapping this space so that they can't walk to the point, which basically means that we can cap safely other than the damage coming in, so we can't physically get denied. So basically, if an opposition player is on the point, you can't cap in Team Fortress 2. Here again, I'm trying to get my roll out. I do okay. Their demo gets there a fraction before me, but I'm kind of quite happy to play passive here in this instance until I get some heals from our medic, and then we're going to try and work a bit more aggressively. But the call there is to leave because they basically had height advantage and player advantage, and now even more player advantage as Razor goes down. So we're backing up here. We have even Ubers, and now even players because I killed that scout with a trap. And again, I'm just trying to spam them because those pipes basically, if I hit someone directly, they'll always do at least 100 damage, and if I indirectly hit someone, usually they do about 40, which is pretty insane. Here we get forced, so their soldier did a good job, but in this instance, I don't know what I was thinking, because this medic, how did I not kill this medic? Cheese and crackers. I actually can't even fathom how horrible that was on my behalf, because they Uber back in and we have to leave. We just don't have the position here, and they have their demo up, which is always an advantage. Demomen usually do some of the highest damage. In our team, that's not always the case, which is probably more my fault than anyone else's. But usually you sort of want your demo doing a similar amount of damage to your pocket, who's sitting with the medic, if not a little bit more, or I'm happy with a little bit less personally, depending on how you're playing. I'm always a bit of a fan, I suppose. Historically, I played with a guy called World's Blankiest Blank, or Bradley, as I know him, who's one of the few pockets remaining in Australia, in my opinion. He basically demands heals and demands to be the one that's leading fights and brawling. And this is just really sad. No, but Blank is a very, very good player. And his playstyle works because of that. But basically, in games with players like that, he will be doing most of the damage. And that's sort of what I'm used to in many ways. I'm also not a DM hero. I don't spend hours and hours getting better at my aim. Now, there, the scout, I thought, went into sewer and then came back out. So my job here is to protect Jen and not get stuck on the wall. So I'm basically aiming to put stickies in positions where I feel we might get flanked from in that situation as we're trying to leave, and then basically get in a position to hold. Now, the call there was that they were coming from IT, so that's good. An early call there basically saved me because I was quite far forward. And now there's the matter of, do we want to fight this or not want to fight this? I know that based on I use hit sounds, so as you can hear, I hit someone for 100, and here I've hit the demo for 80. So I know that there's realistically no way we'll lose this fight unless someone backcaps us, which basically means that we're stacking the point as best we can to maximise that. And we also try and be alert as a team as to where our opposition is at all times. And tracking that along with the Ubers, along with the players, is basically a key to success, I suppose. I think that something particularly last season we struggled with. I was playing Roma, which is the first season I've ever played a full season on Roma. I am not particularly good at holding a flank and making sure no one sneaks through. So I'm much happier now to be back on the Demoman, which is, you basically hold wherever their team's going to come from. You don't have to worry about watching players on the flank and that kind of thing, because that's all a little bit complicated for me. Here again, their scouts coming in for our medic, and we managed to spook them out and get both of them, which means that we want to now contest this point. So I'm going to go aggressive and get punished for it, because what I should have done there that would have been really, really good is jump towards them, force the rocket from the soldier, but air strafe to the right or left, probably right, and stand on top of the big blue crates, which gives me the height advantage, which basically means that the soldiers can't fight you unless they jump up to you, which means they'd have to leave their medic, and with our soldiers and scouts coming in, they would have been destroyed if they jumped anyway. Whereas I got greedy and went straight into them trying to do extra damage and ideally get kills on the medic, for example. But that probably cost us this next point in one way or another, in the sense that right now we actually have to fight for it rather than just walk in, even though they left. And again here I was basically telling everyone to get in because Drat and I were doing a significant amount of work locking them out of that door one. Another really good thing to get the hang of, if you're new to competitive, is roughly what things are called on the map, so that when someone says I need help, door one or spire or lobby, etc., you know where that is. So process is one of the simplest maps, I think, as far as those names go. Again, I do something dumb here and get punished for it. I don't know what I was thinking. I've done that twice in this game now. But basically, process is good because it's all kind of really stock standard names, like door 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on last is basically it in a nutshell. And you just count from right to left if you're holding, or left to right if you're pushing. But lots of other maps have some more unique names. Same as, I suppose, well, every game has call-outs that are handy to know. Here we're sort of fighting the mid, and this is a little bit scrappy. We're a bit disconjointed, but now this looks better because at the moment we basically had that soldier taking the height, scouts protecting our medic, and again, what was I thinking? That's 3 times now I've done that, and somehow we managed to win. We didn't deserve to win based on that play. It's something that I really need to work on, and I've been doing for seasons and seasons now. I suppose I used to play the aggressive scout in my team, and then I went to demo and played far too aggressive, and then I went to Roma and played probably about as aggressive as a Roma should, and now I'm back on demo, so it's just something that I need to get my head sorted on, and hopefully do a bit better at by the end of the season, because we played our round 1 game on Sunday night, which we drew, playing against a team called Intoxicated, which I'm really happy with actually. A lot of people think they might be in the top 4, so a draw against them is nice. I would have preferred to win, but you get what you're given, here again, just trapping out that point and then capping it up. Now I might leave this there. There's only a couple of minutes left in this recording, where basically nothing happens because the end score was 4-0 to us. We played a couple of points really well and deserved the wins, and then a couple of others I suppose we just got lucky because we did not deserve to win 1 or 2 of those rounds, but or at least I didn't based on my play. The other guys played quite well. But yeah, on that note, thanks for watching. If this kind of video suits you, then chuck it a like and I might do a couple more. And if it doesn't, then I don't know, go watch something else. Chuck it a like anyway. Yeah, but cheers for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message on Steam or YouTube, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, peace.